5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Buenos dias, hippies. Paz en el barrio. Hope you're looking forward to the weekend. If you are looking forward to a weekend, be sure to thank a union. The word we might be investigating today could or could not be coincidence. It also might be conspiracy. Who knows? Ultra-lib commentator and former Texas Railroad Commissioner Jim Hightower the other day also delivered himself of a rant based on the preamble to the Constitution. Must have been something in the air, I guess. Hightower's conceit, if that's what it is, like that of so many of his peers in the commentariat, is that he pretends, well, maybe okay, he's sincere, I don't know, whatever, that the direction that the banksters and financiers and the capitalists and the whole political establishment that have been bought and paid for by those guys are taking us is some sort of an accident or an aberration. It's just it just happens, you know, that the current political realities radically disempower the people and coincidentally undercut the possibility of continuing democratic self-government, and that once the people are once again in charge, well, things are going to get better. We're bigger than this, they assure us and proclaim. Well, you know, that's Hightower, Reich, Hartman, Sink, Olbermann, Krugman, all of them even, have to say that. That's what they're paid to say. And what they're paid to do is ignore the undeniable and probably irreversible structural assault on the popular sovereignty of the U.S. citizenry by its elites, as if it were just an accident or some nasty, unforeseen consequence of their general dickishness. Whereas it is nothing less than the whole agenda of the oligarchs, corporates, and their minions in government for no less than the last 60 years. In effect, the commentariat blame us for losing power rather than name the real malefactors who've stolen it and who also, it happens to be, write their paychecks. I'm amazed at how often I'm reminded of Upton Sinclair's clairvoyance in the 20s when he remarked how difficult it is to get a man to see that which his paycheck depends on him ignoring. Some folks have complained that this view amounts to a kind of conscious conspiracy theory. Well, maybe, though I don't think so, not exactly. It's close for government work, but let's just, for the sake of argument, call it, and in honor of the guy whose analytic I'm using, Michel Foucault, let's call it a discursive conspiracy, or maybe a conspiracy of epistemic affinities. One would have to be blind not to have noticed that the ultra-wealthy, their satraps, toadies, courtesans, gunsels, and minions, e.g. the John Birch Society, you know, it started with Coke money back in the 50s, have been dedicated since then, even before, really, if you're to believe General Smedley Butler, to the overthrow of self-sovereignty of the American people and the installation of a corporate hierarchical state. And they've been single-mindedly dedicated to overthrowing our democracy from the inside for 70, 80 years or so anyway. See, e.g., the teabagger contingent in Congress. They've done and continue to do everything possible to make government, our government, seem as irrelevant and dirty and trivial as possible, and to drive us, we, the people, away from our Constitution and to poison its institutions, which happen to be all that stand between the owners and what's ever left of the commons that's worth having. The movement is so pervasive and so universal among the institutions of wealth, which, come to think of it, are our landmark institutions in finance, business, culture, etc., that no one any longer can be named as the single author whose practices regulate social behaviors in this way, yet the effects are inextricably embedded in the historical memories of the institutions themselves. Though, if you wanted to blame someone, we might remember the blessedly late Gipper's noxious quip, "The 8 most feared words in the English language. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help." Well, I want to crap on Reagan's grave. That's the very tippy-top of my bucket list, hippies. What's on yours? We can talk about it when I see you at the beach.